What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review the new studio album from Ari the Rugged Man entitled All My Heroes Are Dead. This is Ari the Rugged Man's third studio album, actually. He's been rapping for consistently for at least 20 years, and this is only his third studio album. Not saying only like as a diss or anything, but you'd think he'd have more. I actually thought he had more. I thought he might have had about five, six, or seven, but it's only his third. So it's good to finally get to an Ari the Rugged Man project. I mean, I've heard other projects as far as mixtapes and one of his albums, but as far as a review on the channel, don't have that under my belt yet until now. So let's go ahead and get right into this project. The first track, I'm talking about every track pretty much, and this is a 22 track album, so this will take a while. The first track, the introduction, just the intro to the album. He starts the track off talking. Well, he not necessarily starts the track off, but in the track he says he's claiming that this is a classic already, and that he's back from touring and becoming a not back from becoming a father, but he's back after becoming a father. I didn't want to make it sound like he's back after doing the dad stuff, like that's over or something. I love the beat, but also the transitions of the beat and the transitions of the flow that go with it. It's pretty nice, and it's pretty much a thank you to his fans, saying that they saved his life too. Actually, I think he says that maybe in the second track. But he talked about freaking civilizing 85ers like Malcolm and Elijah. I was like, oh shit. Okay. And he just talked about how he's from another era and how this album is for those who are from that era, or even if you're not, just for those who love that era. Track number 2, Legendary Loser. This is this is pretty fucked up. He talks about being a loser from birth, and he's just saying but he's been successful. If a loser like him can do it, then so can you. And he's just accepting all the criticism of who he is, and just accepting who he is himself anyway. He's watched his career crumble. He watched what did he say, a $1.8 million deal vanish. It's a very fun track. He's feeling himself as a legend here. An inspirational track too. Now, my favorite line from this track, and one of my favorite lines from this album, is when he said, "Some of your morals maybe gotta be missing when you come from a broken family that's poverty stricken." I was like, shit, man. But yeah, I feel that though. Third track, Golden Oldies, featuring Sluggin Iman, or Iman. I'm not sure. This is a track about just cherishing the oldies, and how he likes one thing, but this girl likes the other thing. He likes guys like Cool Mo D. She's into guys like J. Cole and Arctic Monkey and Imagine Dragons, and he's like, I'm not feeling none of that. And Slug talked about going in on this track. Even though his play may be down or is down, he's still going in and having fun. Being a music, but producing music, putting music out, but also being a consumer of music. Now this next track, Wondering How to Believe, featuring David Miles. This is a very tragic track. It's it details the stories of rape, depression, self-harm, suicide, drug addiction, bullying, overdoses, things that make you wonder how to believe. Well, the first story was about this girl who who was with this guy in high school. I believe it was high school, and I saw a music video. I think it was high school, and she built up the courage to ask him out, I think is how it went. And he wanted to go really far, really fast, in the car with her. And she tried to get away, but he chased her down and raped her. Then she just, man, this was just screwed up. She didn't talk about it. She kept it inside. Was feeling depression, self-hate, inflicted self-harm on herself by cutting her wrist. And again, nobody found out because she kept it to herself. So he kept doing this. Like, she was just the first victim. And going around school, going around town, he was like the cool guy, like the one that ladies love. And it's like, damn, that's fucked up. And then the second story is about this kid, this boy who I think he was being bullied in the music video. And he turned to drugs, and his mom found out about it, got him some help, and he overcame his addiction, but temporarily. Like, I don't know what's going on. There we go. I think I got it. So he temporarily overcame his addiction, and he got into something else. I don't know if it was the same drug, but he overdosed on that. Like, he fell into a coma and then died from that. Died while inside the coma. I don't want to say. Already said he had pneumonia or something. It's just a fucked up track, man. Like, just the fact that things like this happen. It's like all this stuff that I detailed. It's like, yeah, it makes you wonder how to believe. Track number 5, Dragon 5 featuring Ghostface, Master Killer, Cool G Rap, and Extreme. Just a verbal, lyrical cipher. It almost reminds me of Winter Wars, which was off, I want to say that was off of Ghost's first album, Iron Man. Track number 6, All Systems Go. I get a dark vibe from this beat. It's straight hip hop though, and it's one of those tracks that makes you think. I'm more so messing with the beat here than I am the lyrical content. Not that the lyrical content was bad or anything. It was great too. Track number 7, Cancel Skit. This is just a skit about RA being canceled, which he kind of gave an idea why on the first track, but we'll get into that more so halfway and towards the end, because even though he said some of why people feel a certain way about him on the first track, he goes way more into it on other tracks. Now, track number 8, Angelic Boy. Yeah, Angelic Boy is pretty devilish, actually. This kid, man, living a fucked up life is just fucking the kid's mind up. Like, he was bullied. He had a whorish sister, I guess. A dad who was very misunderstanding, and all he wants to do is just be happy and be someone. His mom loved him though. Like, she was the only one that never judged him about anything. It gets to a point where he picks up a gun and he finds like that shooting is his high, and that's gonna get him what he wants. Like the media coverage and everything that he gets from going out and committing a mass shooting, like, it gets him the attention that he wants. But then RA goes into how RA is speaking from the point of view of him, and RA goes into how, like, thing is though, I'm white, so this is going to be covered differently. They're going to say that I have mental health problems and I could have been saved and da 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 da. If I was black or Muslim or anything like that, I'd be a terrorist. It's like, all right, man. I'm sure. You see, a lot of people are gonna love him for a verse like this, but I feel like a lot of people are also gonna look at the dude and be like, "Oh, you're one of those white apologists. Oh, here we go." So he's gonna get hate for that shit too. It's like, my man just can't fucking win. Like, shit. But this was an interesting track. I don't mind tracks like this being on an album like this. Like, just the diversity of this album. It's just great, which I'd hope an artist would do that if it's gonna be 22 tracks. Track number 9, Gotta Be Dope, featuring Afro and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Just musical dope, pure uncut hip hop here. Track number 10, Firstborn, featuring Novel. This is an ode to his firstborn daughter, who I believe was born in 2016. I actually saw something about that. Yes, Ella, born in 2016. Okay. Because he talks about them on this album. He just talks about how has watched her grow up and raising her on things like boxing and that. And now he's shedding a tear as he drops her off at kindergarten. And we get into a point in the track where he details how everything at home was perfect, like him being the fucked up loser dad, but still being a good dad. Not saying I think that. This is what RA is pretty much saying. And the mom being the perfect mom, like the school teacher mom. So it was just perfect. But eventually things became undone, and there was a divorce, and now he's not there like he wants to be. But even though they couldn't work it out, he assures his daughter that they tried every step of the way. They tried to make it work out, but it doesn't mean that he loves her any less. Pretty dope track. The next track is EKNY Ed Koch, New York, featuring Inspector Deck and Timbo King. This is just a track detailing the ugly side of New York, like the real New York, if you want to talk about it that way. Like just the murder, sex offenders, drugs, the CIA, dirty cops, just dirty, grimy ass New York, man. Like I laugh like it's funny, but it's like this shit happens. Like it happens everywhere, especially in major cities. But New York, it's like some of the shit. It's like that only goes down in New York. Like some of that shit's like the most New York shit ever. Track number 12, Hate Speech. This is not for those who want a safe space. Let me just say that now. One of my favorite lines off of this was, "I get 5%ers and white supremacists switching positions." I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Shout out to him for being down with the 120 though. Like knowing about the knowledge itself. It's pretty dope. He said more things actually, which I have on a different tab. Hold on. Okay, here we go. He said, "I make atheists beg to be forgiven and listen to Christians. I put the fear of God in Christopher Hitchens." I was like, damn. Rest in peace, Christopher Hitchens, though, man. Man. And with everything going on, he's like, how full of shit America is. Are we just one wet vagina hole of a country? Like, country. Country. I was like, oh, he's trying to drive that point home. Okay, I see. Pretty dope. And he talks about how losing fans and being hated is just another day. He could give a fuck. And he said, like, let the young handle their bullies instead of sheltering them and making them grow up to be pussies. And all these people are like, yo, RA should be censored. He should be killed. I'm like, oh, this is, I hope no one's really thinking that. Like, you know what? Somebody probably is, unfortunately. Jeez. Track number 13, Living Through a Screen. Everything. Oh, I meant to say, there were a lot of quotables in this track number 12, Hate Speech. It's just like if I did every one, I'd be rapping the track back to you. So I just wanted to choose my favorite ones. But he said a lot on here. Like, if you're looking for a safe space, if you're easily offended, don't even bother with this. Track number 13, Living Through a Screen, Everything is a Lie, featuring the kick drums. Perfect follow-up intro lyrics from the previous outro lyrics, because, well, not necessarily the immediate intro lyrics, but he said, like, when I'm dead and gone, don't come to my wake. Like, yeah, you know, because he'll be dead and gone pretty soon. He should be censored and killed. I really love the chorus, man. Like, all the flashing lights, all the perfect lights, like, gazing at a screen where everything is a lie. Like everything, the news on your TV, on your phone, the computer, all covered with lies. And the lies that people claim and show that they live, all of it. It's all lies. Don't buy into none of it. Track number 14, Contra Dictionary, featuring Locksmith, who I think is one of the most underrated rappers out right now. Locksmith is just fantastic. Fantastic. A lot's being said here too. Just noting the irony and the hypocrisy, the contradictions of people, like the bullshit and the virtue signaling. To quote what was essential to making this track special is to pretty much, again, quote every word in the track. So just listen to it. Just listen to it. I love this though. Everything is pretty. It's pretty cohesive with everything is a lie. Locksmith didn't have a verse actually. It was just on the chorus or the hook. Track number 15. Slayers Club featuring M.O.P., Vinny Paz of Jedi Mind Tricks, Onyx, Brand Nubian, and Ice-T. And it says etc., but I couldn't pick who that was. Brand Nubian, I think it was just Sadat and Lord Jamar. I didn't hear Pooh-Bah. If I did, I missed that. Hip hoppers, man, just unite and rejoice. This is freaking amazing. Hardcore ass hip hop right here. And that beat transition to that guitar. Damn it. I was losing my shit, boy. Whew. Man, that was good. Track number 16. Life of the Party featuring Iman again, Irish Steve, Timbo King, and Phil. Oh, I'm gonna botch this. I'm gonna butcher this to hell. Cassis? Oh, no, it's not gonna happen. Just trying to be like the positive life of the party these days, but he can and still will be the negative, ignorant kid like he was when he was young. And that hook is just or the chorus is just so addicting. Over and over, the party stay jumping. Over and over, the party stay jumping. I think this is where he says, like, yo, don't mean to disappoint my fans or anything, all my ignorant, belligerent, low-life fans, but I'm trying to be a positive guy now. I'm not trying to be the negative one anymore, but I can still go back to it, though. Track number 17. The Big Snatch. This beat is on some Willy Wonka type shit. He said in the beginning that he's dedicating his life to making positive records to help people since he's a dad now. And then he drops this. Then he just drops this shit. Just on some foul shit, man. He told this aspiring actress that he was slugged from atmosphere. That he was slugged from atmosphere. To think Slug was just featured. He's featured on this album. Like, we were just hearing from Slug not 13, 14 tracks ago. And then she did whatever he wanted. Like, once he said he was Slug, she did whatever he wanted her to do. And everything that transpired that night eventually led to a child. And it's like, okay, I guess I see how this is how this is being cohesive, like how this is tying together. Like, he said he wants to make more positive records since he's a dad now, and with all that happened in between, led to a child being born. It's like, okay, I get it. But man, I was taken aback. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? The next track is just a skit, John skit. So the second born, it was born in 2017. She's upset, but he promises her that on the next album he'll make a song about her too, which seems to cheer her up. I can't tell if she's cheered up by that or if she's still upset that there wasn't a track about her on the album. Which I guess there is, since this is a skit, but it's not directly to her. So maybe on the next album, the next track will be Second Born, featuring Novel again, maybe. Track number 19, Who Do We Trust, featuring Immortal Technique. When I caught how this was being sped up, like, not me speeding it up, but just the track itself being sped up at normal pace, but that's just how it went. And I heard Immortal Technique, I lost my shit again. I was like, what? He got Immortal Technique? Shit. And Tech was just talking about, he was on his social, conscious, political shit. And that line, man, I laugh at America's fear about New World Order controlling the hemisphere because my people been living that shit for the past 500 years. Shit, man. He's right though. He's right. Track. RA talks about the CIA and shit, like secret societies, oaths, New World Order, etc. Just one of those tracks. So all you politically all you political hip hop heads or politically conscious, socially conscious, for the conscious community, and for those who might be into conspiracy theories and things like that, definitely check this track out, as well as the next track, Malice of Mammoth featuring Chuck D. You know who Chuck D is. If you don't, he is. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain. Just let them, if they don't know, figure out for themselves. But Chuck D is from Public Enemy, damn it. This track is about propaganda, conspiracy theories, schemes, profit, control, depopulation, stocks, bombing, the FDA. I want to say the NRA too. Just all about money. That's all anything is about. It's money. It is what makes the world go round. And that's what this track is alluding to. 21st track. Sean P. Sean R.I. capital P. Interlude. Rest in peace, Sean Price, man. I think he got his son on here. Or took a skit from his son to get this track produced, like to have on this track, and it was pretty cool. So, yeah, rest in peace, Sean Price, man. Ain't nobody forgetting Sean Price. Track number 22, the last track, which is fitting. This is I'm like 21 minutes into this. The Afterlife featuring Sarah Smith and Kelly Waters. This is RA just asking, just pondering what it's like. Is everything it's cracked up to be in the afterlife? Will all be forgiven? Will loved ones be seen again? Will his sister get to hold her son again? Can people all come together and just be happy? It's like just pondering what it's like in the afterlife. If there even is one, I guess. And when I was listening to the track, I was like, I think he's just going to talk about the positive side of theory, not just the theory of the afterlife, but theories about the afterlife, heaven and hell or anything like that. It's like I felt like he was going to just stick to the positive side and stick to what would be considered heaven, maybe, and stay away from talking about hell. Because I had to not bite my tongue, but I was like, is he going to talk about that too? Like hell too? I thought, just knowing already, I thought he was going to be like, let's talk about the other side though. Is it all it's cracked up to be? Is it as bad as they crack it up to be in hell? I was like, if he's about to do that, that's going to be dope as shit. But he didn't, and you know what? That's cool. I can respect that. It's actually pretty fitting for an album like this. But it would have been fitting too if he'd have talked about hell too, because it would have been pretty funny too, and expected from RA, because it's RA. But man, that is it. This was a fantastic album. I did not think I was going to enjoy it this much. I thought it was going to be dope because it's already a Rugged Man, but this is just great. This is a state of the times and a career. Not judgy or preachy, but observant. It's fun. It's mature. It can be ignorant. It's flashbacks to the ignorant RA. He's a dad now, just telling the sad stories, losing his nephew. And it makes sense. Like, his heroes are dead. He made that make sense towards the end of the album. It came full circle. Great features, but he carries the album pretty much himself. But great features on here. Not really, but so many. This is just about RA's past, present, and future. Even for a 22-track album, he didn't overstay his welcome, once. I was worried when I saw how many tracks there were. Even, halfway through, I was like, it's pretty good, but there's still so much album left. At some point, I'll hit a weak spot, right? But no, this was just fantastic. It was funny. It was outspoken. It was socially aware / conscious. Just a fantastic project. And I'm feeling an 8 out of 10 on this project. This is the first solid 8 I've given this year. Yeah, it's like a top, man, it's at least in my top 3 for albums of the year. It is just fantastic. No skips at all. No skips at all. Even the skits, they make the album more heartfelt, and they make them pretty fun as well. So if you've heard this album, please let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and what you think about my review on it. If you haven't heard this album, I definitely recommend that you check it out. Be sure to hit the like button if you like this review. share the review, subscribe to the channel if you're new and like the content that you see. Check the description because that'll lead you to my social media links, and you'll see other things like a PSN name if you want to hop on the PlayStation and chat and play some games. Emails in there as well. And also, I want to mention, if this comes on a cassette, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be on CD, but if this is on vinyl, I hope to cop it. I always cop at least one of my favorite albums of the year. I've been it's been like that since like 2014. Like I always at least cop one of my favorite or my absolute favorite. But with this album, wanted to follow up on what I said about if you haven't heard this project. Also, be sure if you haven't heard this project that you check it out and you come back and let me know what you think about it and what you think about my review on it. And that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all next time.